All right, got back onto it. We're back with all the stuff. I messed a little bit of my mic settings accidentally, and then on purpose after I realized that I accidentally messed with them. So some of my stuff might be a little off, but we're back to the grind, back to the grind. I am loving this, but I do need to. I took some time to think about exactly what I was doing on this, and I have to change up some of the things, which is mildly unfortunate, but it's all okay. All okay. So I'm making some, adverse adjustments to my whole city and whatnot, because, the city didn't necessarily. The city is more of a concept of a city than an actual laid out, fully fleshed out city right now. Purely because my players have not gone there, so I haven't needed to, do the whole city thing, which is, nice. But yeah, so the actual full design of it has a little bit of leeway for it. This was my nice brush, right? Is this it? I think that was it, but I had a bigger brush size. Yeah. There we go. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna do a nice little overlayer. We're gonna ignore that harsh spot there and just keep going about it. Some rock stuff there, some rock stuff there. So I was gonna talk about this story a while ago and just never got around to it, but I went to an Otto concert and I loved every second of it. It was great. It was wonderful. So I got to see her performing live, which was awesome. For those of you who don't know and are just tuning in, Otto is my favorite artist, musical artist. She's a Japanese singer. I'm not going to be able to do it credit on exactly what her whole story is right now and the whole thing, because I have honestly not done enough research to be able to give it credit. What? Yeah, why is this not? Why? Hello? Oh, there we go. But I got to go and see her live, and it was wonderful. To do it, I went through and I brought my cousin in on it, and we drove all the way from where I was living to the concert place, and it was like a what would it be? It was a 7-hour drive, 12-hour drive. I think it was a 12-hour drive. It was a long drive, which was great because we got to just hang out and chat for a while. All the stuff was awesome. And I double checked to make sure that my whole license and whatnot was all within all the legal, I could legally drive, make sure that it hadn't expired and everything. And so we did a whole side quest. It turns out it did, and I had to go through and do a lot of different things to help with that. I don't tend to drive a lot with cars. I like to bike to as many places as I can, but I totally set up the whole thing so we could go through. He could have a that's the wrong color. He could have a driver if he needed it, and he's like, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make sure that I have a driver. So we go through, we make sure he has a driver, and he doesn't use me at all. The dude drives 7 hours there, and then afterwards, the very next day, drives 7 hours back. And I'm like, dude, let me help. And he's like, no, I refuse. He's the kind of guy who just does not feel safe with anybody besides him behind the wheel. I'm just gonna keep on doing this until I get it right. But he's the kind of guy who just does not feel safe with anybody besides him behind the wheel, and so it's really, really funny because we made sure that I could drive and whatnot, and he's like, I know that you're an option. Like, don't make me, don't get me wrong. I know you're an option. I just don't want you to drive. So that was ridiculous and funny and all this stuff. And so we went there. It was awesome. I loved it. He had never heard a single Otto song beforehand. He enjoyed it, which was awesome. But he had never heard a single Otto song beforehand, so he kept making fun of me about my anime singer that we were gonna go watch. And so that was great. He still messes with me to this day about that. But he enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was wonderful. And I ended up getting a poster and a towel. And on my walk back, we were talking, having some fun, goofing around, all the stuff. We get back to the hotel. First time I'd ever booked a hotel by myself. It was great. But on the way back, he goes through. He settles down all the stuff. I start settling down, putting my stuff away, getting ready for the morning, and I had completely lost my towel, and I was so sad for about half a second. And I'm like, well, honestly, I'm just actually really happy that I got here. It's like, would you rather buy a towel and complain about the towel that, didn't end up working out? Or would you enjoy the fact that you did an Otto concert and got a whole poster and everything? And I'm like, yeah, I'm happy I got a poster. So that was an incredible time. I could have sworn, I'm smart. I know what I'm doing. Sorry, I get distracted so easily. Yeah, that works. What was I saying? Towel concert. Yeah. It was great. It was wonderful. On the drive back, we had a ton of fun. Next time we're going to make sure that we have a solid music road trip playlist, which is a ton of fun. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. I'm so happy I got to go. It was so much fun. Like, I can't stress how wonderful it was to actually get to go see her live. It was great. It was a little sad that when I got back, listening to the recorded music was just not studio recorded music. Wasn't quite the same kick. But it was really, really wonderful having got to go. So that happened, and that was so the first time that I had set up to go from the YouTube channel and whatnot. This was still during the time that I was doing one video a day, so I had to go through and I scrambled to make sure that I had all the all the pre-uploads all tight and ready. So that was a ton of fun. But that was just one of I said that I would come back with stories and whatnot, and that was one of the stories that I just never gotten around to. So surprise, I gotta go see my favorite singer. It was wonderful. I gotta do these earlier in the day. There's probably a few different time periods in the day that I can actually get away with it. This angle just isn't working for me. The waterline angle. It's not technically water if I'm being lore accurate. This is actually sand. But that's a whole other problem for people to deal with. I'll tell you guys the story about this in a bit. So, not right now, but later on, I will absolutely go through the story and some of the interesting creatures and whatnot that live in this area. But yeah, this whole thing I created a sea of sand, and it was wacky going through all the different like pieces of it and making sure that I was doing things correctly. I'm the person who goes like way too in depth into problems and whatnot. So I went through and I like made sure that my my calculations were correct for like how much wind pressure needed to come up from the ground. It's a little complicated to explain right now in the midst of doing this, but generally, I'll get into it all later. I like how this is looking now. This gives adequate access for boats coming in and follows the lines that I had previously set up, which is great. This piece here, I'm planning on putting a whole city in this area, right? So there'll be like boxes and whatnot. They'll be like following along the ridge line of this, because down here is actually a hole, so that's a pit that goes all the way down. So there's actually just going to be buildings along the ridge line of the thing rather than filling up the whole area. So that's that. I have some sketches that I did for boats and whatnot, because I like this Chinese style for the materials and whatnot that the civilization in this region of the world has access to, specifically because they're in a desert-like place, but they still get ocean travel, which is my favorite mesh of combination. This is one of my favorite like areas in the world that I built, which is it's just so much fun. But it'd be this double wing area up here, so they'd have like one mast on either side, and this kind of the mast angle would probably be a bit more extreme than this, but a locked position here, and then they basically wing out the mast so that they can catch the wind, because the wind comes from the bottom. And then for smaller craft, they basically just do kite surfing. Is that what it is? Anyway, that was just some little bits and pieces of some stuff, but I think this for now is a good place to stop. I don't think I want to do a really long video tonight, but not a lot of update here. Fun small story, a little bit of a sneak peek on the next part for the layers that I'm going to be, they'll be, ooh. Anyway, I really liked that first piece. Anyway, there'll be some boats going across. You'll see them. Anywho, that's the thing. So, yeah,